Hello everyone, welcome to the Data and AI Express, your gateway to data mastery. I am thrilled to kick off our new series with the complete guide to data and AI. Get ready to explore everything from very basic to exciting future of data and AI. From this video, we will just focus on data and then I will take you forward for the AI also in later. This guide is brought to you by Data and AI Express. Our mission is to demystify the data and AI, making complex topic accessible and exciting for everyone in an express speed. So if you are serious about this mastering the data, you are in the right place. So what's on our agenda today? We are going to embark on a comprehensive data journey here by defining what exactly is data. Why is data so crucial in our world? When does data become critical for decision making? The strategic reasons begin storing the data, exploring the main types of data, the fascinating evolution of the data storage methods, a glimpse into the future of data. Let's start with most fundamental question. What exactly is data? As its core, data is collection of raw information. This includes numbers, words, symbol, images, video, audio, etc. etc. Everything around us is data. Whatever we hear, whatever we see, whatever we eat, whatever we experience, so everything around us is a data. So the singular form of data is called a datum. So data is a plural form. So whatever the information that we gather around is data. So data is nothing but a collection of raw informations. So we store this raw information and we call this raw information as a data in this world. So we knowingly or unknowingly we generate lot of data as and when we experience or as and when we pass on the every seconds of this world. So there is a measurement. Approximately there are 2.5 quintillion bytes of data getting generated each day globally, which is nothing but 10 power of 18 zeros. Can you guys imagine? 18 zeros of data is generated each and every day by all of us, all of the machines, all of the devices that we have put in. So that is what the data is all about. So why this all this raw information is so incredibly important? In today's world, data is the new oil. If the fuel drives the decision making, innovation and personalization across every industry, then you can able to get success in all the business if you play with the data. Without data and without basic foundation of the decision that you are taking, obviously you are like going and flying in a blind. So data is begin all the informed decision making. It can reveal a lot of insights from what's happened, what type of customer that we are dealing with, what is their feedback from the customer, which product they are liking, which product they are not liking. It can tell you the history of the data. Hey, what happened last week, what happened 1 month, 1 year before, 10 years before. So if you know the history very well, you can able to predict what's going to happen next. Through statistical information, we can able to predict the future. If you know what's going to happen next, you can able to better plan and you can able to change the needful leverages and make the desirable outcome. So all the things that raw information is called a data. That's so important that you should have a data in every step of the business world. While data is always critical, but there are certain businesses that I would like to call it on. It's so critical and so valuable. Imagine you are dealing with a stock market live situation. So what type of buy-in that you're putting, what type of sell order that you put in, when you put in, what is the market fluctuations. You need to instantly process the data that you're doing. So all these real-time operations data is so critical and you need to process the data when it got generated. And imagine a situation where you are playing with really a live, personal life situations where something happened and you really need to know what is the impact, where it's happening, what is the location. Another thing is like OTT. Data is so critical over there. So healthcare diagnosis, we should know about what is this patient diagnosis is all about, and what is the fluctuations, what is the improvement, what are the parameters, vital signals. So processing the data is so critical in certain businesses, though it's so much critical in other areas, but these are where you need to do a very near real-time processing. Given the critical nature of the data, why do we bother storing all this data? So there are really great reasons behind storing the data. First of all, the preservation of knowledge that we gather, right? When we get the information, we may not know what are we going to use the data. So you definitely need to safeguard the information that you got, so that it can be a historical record, or maybe sometimes it become a crime evidence that you need to store the data, right? And it will definitely help or reveal a lot of insights in the future. You may not know what's its use now, but in future maybe you might be creating a better model which will use this data and reveal a lot of insights behind it. So you have to store the data, and many other industries it's been complaints and auditing that what data that every system has processed, you have to store the data in properly for audit and legal purposes. And most importantly, machine learning uses the data to learn and train itself. Now generative AI are the pre-trained models which uses very quality data. If the Gen AI models has been trained with proper quality data, then it can able to give more accurate results output. So the basic foundation is like how much quality data that the model has been trained. So that decide the AI future. So that's why without data there is no AI. So you should know, that is why our channel also Data and AI Express, where data and AI goes together. There is no data, no AI. You can't have an AI without data. So if you have a very well versed data processed and stored in a particular format with there are different algorithms, different architecture, different process steps involved in creating the data, which you will eventually go through in the due course of time. But when you have a proper data, you can able to use the data to train your AI/ML models or the Gen AI models, and which you can able to use it for many meaningful businesses. So that is why we need to store the data always. Now let's talk about different flavors of data. We can categorize the data into three main types: structured data, unstructured data, semi-structured data. Structured data is organized and predictable. Structured data fits nearly into predefined models like spreadsheets, databases in a tabular format. Everything can fit into a structured data. There are 15% of the data that we generated around that is a structured data, but it yield nearly 80% of the business outcome. This 15%, maybe we can say that 80-20. These 20% of the data decides the 80% of the business outcome. So it's very easy to analyze. It stores all the names, number, amount, everything stored in a databases. There are a lot of different data strategies to process the structured data. And next one is the unstructured data. This is the free form and complex data. Around like 80% of the data that we generate today, it's all belong to unstructured data: video, audio, post, email, all the documents and everything hold this unstructured data. So basically, like all the social media posts, videos, images, documents, everything, it holds a high rich quality of insights, but we are unable to reveal the what's its hold. Even though in the modern data technologies we are reaching there, but it's not still there. Next one, the bridging the gap between both, is the semi-structured data, where partially it's structured and partially unstructured data, where the website data partially, it mostly holds this JSON file, XML, Parquet. There are different types of semi-structured data files are there: log files, API responses, or MCP responses. It's gaining a lot of adaptability in the cloud world, where we deal with a lot of the website data. It's all belong to semi-structured data. Let me take you all to a quick journey into our memory lane or the historical lane and see how the data storage has evolved. It's truly fascinating to see how far we have come. From the Stone Age onwards, 3000 BCE till 4000 CE, ancient times, clay pots, all the carvings in the cave, stone carvings, trade routes, records, everything has recorded. So that's itself a data. And in the industrial revolution time frame from 1400 to 1900, where we use a lot of printing press, ledger out books, mass information distributions, that's where we could able to understand a lot of history about all the years through the data only. From the early computing phase from 1900 to 1970, this is where we go into a lot of magnetic tape, punch cards, storage solutions, and etc. etc. From 1970 till 1990, that's where the personal computing has been evolving in the world, where floppy disk, hard drive, personal data storage has been used, and this is where it speed up the whole computer adaptability. From 1990 till 2010, like it took a time frame, that's where the another upgrade to all the storages happen, which is like CDs, DVDs, global data sharing, and cloud has been slowly emerged in this time frame. From 2010 till date, this is called the big data era. Huge data, huge informations. Everywhere you see, everything generates data, everything stores the data. IoT, petabyte storages, AI integrations are shaking the world. And I'm going to see what's going to happen next. When you talk about the data, you often hear the terms like a kilobyte, megabyte, terabyte. What is this all about? Let's break down the data sizes. A byte is a letter A, like one character, which is called a byte. Byte is a one character. When you talk about kilobyte means like a short email, 1000 bytes, a kilobyte, a byte, and 1000 byte is a kilobyte, and 1000 kilobyte is a 1 megabyte, and so on. Gigabyte is 10 power 9 is a gigabyte. Similarly, we generate nearly 2.5 quintillion is a quintillion. So 1 quintillion is 10 power 18, 2.5 quintillion of data that we generate every day as per the study. So usually we deal with a lot of megabyte, gigabyte, and terabyte of information. Whereas many of the enterprises, they are still playing with a lot of the structured data mostly in the terabyte, like 10 terabyte, 2 terabytes. So you have to understand what is this data sizes when you work on any data migration program or any data solutions that you create, any data tool that we play. What is the capacity and the processing the data? Is it real time? Is it a batch? How much data it is having a capacity to storage, and how much data it can process it at a point of time, like that. You have to know all these data sizes in related to this data tools that you are playing with. So to truly master the data, you need to know the tools, right? You all need to be master the data field. Then you need to know the tools which can be useful for you to master the data. The data ecosystem is really a vast. I just brought you an essential of what it's look like. All the source data will come into play. That's where you do a lot of data collections from a lot of the sources. All these data collections will gather the data from source system, and from gather the data you are going to store the data, and after that, after you collect and store the data, you need to process, right? The data analysis, after you store the data, you use the data to analyze and get a meaningful information out of it. Is a vast, right, like which are help to give the data story in a visualized format, and with other data like that. The entire data ecosystems is really a vast. I just tell you are very few, and I obviously we will talk a lot when we go those slides in detail or in those sessions in detail in the future classes. So you all see the data ecosystem, right? It is changing very faster. So now I'm going to tell you what's coming next in the data revolution. Here is a few glimpse of future of the data looks like. Quantum computing, where processing the data in ways unimaginable today. The years of computing in seconds. Mark my words, when quantum computing comes in, it will going to shake the entire data processing, data engineering world. Next one is the edge computing, where you process the data closer to the sources directly and then take a decision in a real time. And AI integration. Now you all have the we're all working in an AI era where we gather the data and we take decision and we do a lot of agentic AI with the data. It's then and there generated. And when we have a lot of data with this much size and this much power, and obviously the privacy is and how to use the data is crucial. So we are going to look out new ways of how to manage the governance, all the data that we play, who can access what type of data and things like that. And fifth one is the data democratization. When you have this data, you obviously need to empower the business, right? Then only they can able to take some meaningful decision. So data is for everybody, right? So that business can able to drive with this data. So there will be much more methods, powerful tools will be coming up in the data democratization to democratize the data. And who knows, there will be multiple new divisions to shake this entire ecosystem will come up because it's always an evolving world. You all feeling excited? Don't worry. Here your roadmap to getting started with the data mastery. Whatever the field, you start with some basics. Learn a small Excel how it works. I really want you guys to start with small and build your foundation very well. And start building some end-to-end project like personal finance tracker, social media analysis, and a lot more. Right? Like so, you have to do that. Start doing that end-to-end projects from what you learned. And obviously now there are a lot of communities are available. So you learn from Kaggle, Reddit, LinkedIn, GitHub projects, and start communicating, start contributing. We all need to learn together. Let's quickly recap what we learned today. Data is everywhere, from ancient clay pot till the quantum computer. Data has always been a crucial. Data skill provide a competitive advantage across all the industries across the world. So you should learn the data skills. That's a must. Be it a data engineer, be it a data analyst, be it a data scientist, be it an AI engineer, or maybe a business user. You all need to know the data. Multiple types of data that we learned: structured data, unstructured data, semi-structured data, and what all its purpose, how it has been stored. Rich ecosystem that data has, thousands of tools available for different purposes that we have seen. And obviously data has a bright future. Quantum computing, edge processing, and AI will revolutionize the data. Every expert was once a beginner. The most important step is the first one. Are you ready to take the first one and build your first data project? Thank you so much for joining me with this comprehensive guide to the data. If you found this presentation helpful and want to dive deeper into data and AI, please comment what you want me to take next. And obviously Data AI Express will bring you a lot more latest content in this industry in a fast-paced manner. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you in the next video where I'm going to prepare a comprehensive guide for an AI. Thank you.